Welcome to part 3 of writing rock-solid clinical goals, objectives, and benchmarks. Keep it simple. This is the last portion of the presentation I offered in St. Louis, Missouri, and I'm pleased to offer it to you via the website. So this portion of this is supposed to pull all of the information that we've talked about in parts 1 and 2 together and to start you thinking about how you're going to write your clinical goals, objectives, and benchmarks. So once we have all this information, it's time to start synthesizing it. And unfortunately, I can't tell you exactly what to write for each one of your clinical goals and objectives, but I can at least give you a way to think about how to put it together. We always remember that the elements that we have are grounded in our client first and foremost. We want to make sure that these are reflective of the clients that we have in treatment. Our referral reference is our desired outcome, the reason people are in therapy. And this is really important because the people who are paying for the therapy want to have a clear-cut objective in mind, a reason for why they're in therapy. And so it's important that we know that referral reference. Our task analysis offers us the objective elements. What are we going to work on? How are we going to get our client from where they are to where we want them to be? This provides us with a list of the skills to develop or also the criterion to get to our goal, the steps that we might need to go. So skills might include social skills, communication skills, academic skills. The steps tell us what we need to do when. What is the most important? What is the most foundational element? And then we build on that. We're going to make sure that we're only measuring one thing per objective and benchmark, not 2 or 3 things. Remember our examples from the AMTA professional competencies? Keep that in mind when you're writing your objectives. We're going to have measurement criteria based on our clinical setting as the therapist and our ability to complete the task based on how we are providing treatment. This is very important because you don't want to set yourself up for failure. So think about how you're going to be able to keep data, how you're going to be able to work on this before you write your objectives. So that way you don't find yourself having to scramble. And that measurement also has to offer very important information for those who refer the client and who pay for the treatment because, again, they want to make sure that what they're paying for is actually getting their client towards their desired outcome. Our presentation also needs to have far-reaching outlook. We need to know what all of those steps and skills are that the client will need to accomplish in order to get to the desired outcome. So that way, if like in my setting, clients come in, they're there for 60 days and then they move on, I need to know what the next steps for treatment are, and so I can recommend further music therapy treatment. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to do a lot of that, but you know, there are things that we need to be thinking about for the future. What are the foundational skills? You work on those foundational skills first and foremost before you do anything else. How much time do you have to work with the client? That helps you figure out what you're going to focus on as well. And then you prioritize in order to assist that treatment planning and implementation. If it is more important that someone regulate their emotional expression versus going to get or learning how to do their ABCs, if they can't express their emotions appropriately in a safe manner, then working on ABCs is probably not going to work very well. And so you prioritize based on your treatment planning and implementation. And remember to be realistic. Very important. Here is another picture of the entire formula. We start off at the top with the star. It's the desired outcome, the referral reason, the end goal. You divide that by your task analysis and you get your objectives, however many you have. Then you do your assessment. You check where clients are on each one of the objectives that you have developed and see where they are at that point. And then you start to put together, or then you get your present level of performance. And then you start to put together your benchmarks, which in this example is the present level of performance plus present level performance times 15%. Equals benchmark number 1, and then benchmark number 2 is present level performance plus present level performance times 0.35, and then benchmark number 3, which is present level performance times present level performance times 50%, half again greater than what they had. There you go, without the formula. So when you're writing client-based, easy to track goals and objectives and benchmarks, here's what you think about. Step 1, you got to know that desired outcome. We've been talking about that throughout this presentation. Step 2, you need to know the tasks needed to get to the desired outcome. The nice thing about this is that you can use a desired outcome and you can think through all of these things without having a specific client with you. And I encourage you, if you work with a particular kind of client that gets referred to you for the same kinds of reasons, to do this work away from the client. So that way you have that assessment protocol ready to go. Step 3, you're going to assess to see where each client stands in the process of getting to the DO, which gets us to our present level of performance. Step 4, using the assessment information, you're going to determine what you're going to address first, second, third, etc. And that's going to help you guide your objective writing section. Step 5, you're going to write an SAR-MT statement for treatment planning. Remember, that's our SMART goal that's all mixed up, and I said it probably should be SRA-MT, statement for treatment planning, but that's going to help you figure out how you're going to be treating this client. And step 6, you're always going to evaluate. Now remember, when you're collecting data, that you want to write data collection questions that you can answer with yes or no, especially if you've got lots and lots of clients in treatment. You want to keep your data collection as very simple as you possibly can, because it's important to do this in a way that's going to allow you to provide therapy. And you want to place all of your data points into your treatment in a natural manner. So for example, if you state that you're going to use a number of trials, like they have to get 3 out of 5 trials correct, then you're going to write a therapeutic music experience, a song that includes five trials within that song. So that way you can help collect that data. There's no reason why you should be having to manufacture situations during the session to collect your data. You need to embed that into your treatment as much as you possibly can. That's it. If you have any questions or comments or concerns, or if you'd like to talk to me more about this, feel free to send me an email at contactus@musictherapyworks.com. Thank you so much for attending the presentation in St. Louis, and I hope that this helped clarify things if you needed some clarification. And again, thank you so much for watching.